Hello! Hello! And welcome to Loose Queens, a vlogcast where we explore the diverse world of drag and serve up some fasho-type comedy. This show is hosted by me, Auntie Ginger, aka Ms. Drag UK, and also my co-host, Donna Matrix S&M Queen to the Stars.
Yes, and don't you forget it, Miss Auntie, yes.
I won't, dear, a dent.
You wouldn't, not with this in my hand. Yes, it's Donna Matrix here, S&M Queen to the Stars. And over the course of a number of shows, we'll explore a range of drag artists and stars with performers from all over the UK. We'll have more and more episodes as we want to represent as much drag as possible. So kings, queens, AFAB artists, and so much more.
So join us each show where we will have a special guest in the studio to chat about their drag and to see what we can learn as a pair of loose queens. So, Donna.
Yes.
What clients have you had lately?
Well, who haven't I had, quite honestly? Because
I heard that about you.
I know the type of clients I'm going, well, do you know what I've had? I'm just going to come right out of it. George Clooney. He's been to see me for some sessions. Can you believe that? World famous superstar. I can see you reaching for the phone.
Do I need to ring legal?
This one's harmless.
Okay.
Because
the liable's on your checkbook, dear.
I'll take responsibility. They always, I always get them to sign a release form anyway. Normally when they want to be released from a ball gag or when they're chained up. But with George, because he did Wolverine. Did you see that film?
No, I didn't.
When he played what basically was a huge dog. Well, he loves puppy play.
Right.
Oh, in my kitchen, he loves walking around on all floors. I take him round on a lead. But then, obviously, it gets to a point in the day, I've got to take him to the local park because I am a responsible dog owner. Because at some point he will need to use the dog bath, as it were.
Okay.
So, so he's been a bit of a handful recently. But
it sounds like
it is. Do you know what else? I'm going to segue into this. Is the other thing that I've seen is crap cheese. This is a blight
crap
on
cheese.
Crap cheese on the UK.
Okay.
And Mini Baby Bells, Derry Lee, Cathedral City. Look, see that? Because the problem is, as much as I love it, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's proper cheese. For a start, Cathedral City, do you know what? It's made in Barnsley. It's not even a real city. They don't have a cathedral. This is 9% plastic, this cheese. It is. Do you know what? I left it out the side the other day for 10 minutes. Yeah? Look what happened. So, what you've got to look for is that... And I know, laugh and it would be true.
I'm just having words.
There we go. I'm trying to get it out of there for crap cheese. Be warned. That's got her. She loves that. She loves a bit. She loves. This is what people want: bouncing cheese. You know? So it's like, use the safe word. Use it from another episode.
Double dip.
Yeah, double dip. Oh, it's all right. We can stop there. Okay, so
do you want to ask me about my week?
I'm going to ask you about your week. I'll move it over there. So, how have you been, Auntie? How has your week been?
I've been fine. Right, I recently had a pub. Right, take it seriously. I recently had a gig in a basement.
Right.
Which was interesting. It wasn't like fetish or anything. I literally went to a pub in London. Ooh, touch me, I've got money. I've filmed in London.
You have?
Yeah, that's it. Went to London and literally I said, oh, I'm here. Where do I get dressed? And they said, oh, go downstairs to the basement. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, fine. I got ready in worse. So went down to the basement, put my makeup on. You know, loads of beer barrels there, a couple of empty crates. And I was thinking, okay, I need to find the stage. So I go upstairs and I said, so where's the stage? And they said, oh, you've already been there.
Right.
I was like, what do you mean? They said, well, downstairs. I was like, where all the beers and crates are? I said, yeah. I was like, right. So literally performed in front of people were sat on beers and crates.
Oh dear. There's a theme here.
Yeah.
I
I get some interesting gigs. Yeah.
So we're sitting on beer crates and that was it. And how many were in the audience?
So there were a couple of dozen in the audience,
right, okay.
to be fair.
Yeah.
So it was all right, and I got a couple of bookings from it, so it was nice.
It wasn't a sort of Joseph Fritzl's basement type scenario.
No.
I've had a few of those.
Right.
So it was just a metaphor, that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just clear that one up. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll get back onto legal.
We'll be back onto the phone.
Right. So, but yeah, I get some interesting gigs. Lesson number one: more due diligence required when you're getting booked.
We've been there before.
Now, this dress
Yes,
is your roadkill dress.
it is. It's my Lady Gaga special.
Lady Gaga.
She did the meat dress. I've brought it on and done it with the roadkill. And basically, every week I'm out of my Honda Jazz and I'm driving around and I'm trying to avoid celebrities, but my dash camera catches them sometimes.
And who did you swerve to avoid this week?
Well, let's have a look at who. Oh, now we've got to try and guess. Who could that be?
He sounds like somebody who I wouldn't particularly like on a morning breakfast show.
There's a very good clue there.
Yeah.
So we'll reveal it later on in the show, but as you can see, amongst the pigeon blood and the squirrel guts and my sofa, my very untidy car, have a good look and all will be revealed later.
Well, I'm not sure myself, but I'm sure we'll find out at the end of the episode. So, coming up on this episode, we have Narcissa Nightshade as our very special
Wonderful.
guest. I am so excited to see her.
Now, was she part of your charity night that you did?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let's get her on.
Let's get her on it.
She's brilliant.
She is a fabulous performer, and we'll find out more about her later.
Okay.
But before that, we should find out how people can get in touch with us.
Indeed. Ginger, here we go.
Yes, my very special phone.
We did. We found it in the back of our wardrobe. It's 1G, and it's a Nokia. You can find us on Instagram at Loose Queens or Instagramma, which is more in keeping for Ginger. And we're on at Loose Queens on Facebook as well. It's the same, but we're not on Twitter.
No, don't believe in Twitter.
We believe that bird has flown the nest. So there you go.
Also, we have another guest who helps us out every week. We couldn't afford the real thing, but it's our budget Alexa we got from the market. Please welcome our paranoid Android virtual assistant device.
Hello, Gerhard.
Hello, Gerhard.
Eileen, yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, hello, you two.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, it is Gerhard here. I've had a reboot and software upgrade, so it means I will be nice to you.
Hooray! That'd be very welcome.
Oh, yes.
It goes against the grain, but I'm trying to get into it. And I will start with a compliment, because you mentioned the actor George Clooney.
Okay.
Yes, we
Who's
did.
playing the Wolverine, you said, with a big dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe he could then play you two guys in the movie for this show.
Oof. He's getting into roasting now, isn't he?
It's becoming very popular on this show.
Oh, he's going to start.
It is roasting in here. The fan is broken and I'm sweating from parts that I shouldn't sweat from.
Yeah.
You've got glands where you didn't know you had them.
Yes.
Oh, God,
I feel like I might need a safe word on this episode.
Yes, you might do.
So what's the sweeping and mopping? That's what S&M stands for, isn't it?
That's a good one. Yes, it is.
So
Oh.
what's the S&M password?
Well, some of the
or
session-
password, safe word for this week.
So, in the case anyone wants to stop during the session today, in the S&M world, we use a safe word.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, if you, Auntie, find yourself drifting off into that dream you have about Brad Pitt and the cantaloupe, and think you need resuscitating, you can use this safe word. I'm here for you, girl. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
let's do this.
So-
What's the safe word this week, Gerhard?
And the safe word is Beetlejuice.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
It's the only safe film he's done, quite honestly. But I won't get into Tim Burton stuff now.
May I just say, as I fear that the comedy will now be gone from the show once I'm turned off, may I leave you with a joke?
Of
Yes.
course, of course.
Did you hear the one about the Camp Great White Shark?
No, we didn't.
Da-dun, 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 dun, dun, da-dun. I love you, babies. I feel pain. I go for now.
So you go for thank you.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Thank you, Gerhard. So now let's find out what's going on in Auntie's life.
Yes, what is going on in my life? I think we went to Cello Corner for some more pearls of wisdom.
Right, okay.
Yeah, let's watch that.
Let's go over, let's have a look.
Did you know that contour is made up of olive oil and you can use that in a pasta dish? Now, don't be putting your face in a dish though.
You just get deeper and deeper each time from Cheddar
And-
Corner. Your
yeah.
philosophy is bewildering.
Absolutely, and I don't know what about that show made me more northern.
You did.
But it was a good fiddle.
Yes, I did love the Northern Yorkshire accent. Anyway, you've
you.
always got lovely strings, Auntie.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Right, shall we get on and
Yes,
introduce
let's
our
get on.
guest?
Yes.
This time we have Narcissa Nightshade. Narcissa is an amazing queen, an original Kiki Queens winner, many-time lip sync battle winner, and has won contests such as Cha Cha Boudoir, Fugly. She's got a kind heart and looks to die for. I love her to bits. And welcome to Narcissa Nightshade! Hey!
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. You look fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely gorgeous. So, for people who have been living under a rock and don't know who you are, tell us about Narcissa and what she's all about.
Well, Narcissa, what can I say about Narcissa? Narcissa she's a woman she's a timeless woman. She's been around for a very, very long time. The way I like to look at Narcissa is she is the Dorian Gray of drag.
Oh.
You know, she's got the painting in the attic. She doesn't need a dermatologist. She's all good in that respect. You know, very gothic horror. You know, she's swept away around Europe. She's had a few husbands. I said that word that we're not supposed to say.
That's all right.
Husbands,
Apologise.
I know. It's okay.
I've had many husbands
and I
and
can just bleep you out.
lovers. Husbands and lovers around Europe, and you know, you get tired of them. You have that mind hair moment and you move on.
Well, now your name, and we're chatting to all the queens. You've got a wonderful name, very exotic. Where did that come from?
So my name came from, I remember sitting around, and I've had many drag names over the years because I've done drag for a really long time.
How long have you done drag?
Oh gosh, 12 years.
Wow.
Long time.
Started when she was 10.
Exactly, very that. And that actually takes me back to when I was at university. I think we actually went to university together.
Did we?
We did.
Oh, hello.
You went to Kiel.
Surprise,
Yeah.
surprise.
You did go
Briefly.
to Kiel.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so I went to Kiel University, I think the same time as you.
Okay.
And I, at the time, was called anorexia at the time.
Wow.
So I was anorexia for a while, and then I kind of stopped drag for a little bit. And when I moved up to Manchester, I got involved with the Cha Cha Boudoir scene, and Anna and Cheddar were really, really pushing me to get back into it. And they were like, we really want to see what you can do. We like the looks. We're interested in what you can do. And I thought, well, I best come up with a new name because it wasn't really suitable anymore. Because at the time, it was kind of a joke about, at the time I was quite ill. I'd had a couple of eating disorders when I was younger. So I decided, actually, well, now I'm past that part of my life and it's time for a new name. So I remember thinking about things that made me feel things. And Nightshade was the bit that came first. I thought about, oh, well, you know, she's a little bit poisonous and we like Nightshade, but it needs something else. And I remember being in my studio flat thinking I really need a name, and I'd sat there for a week or two and couldn't come up with anything. And it happened to be Harry Potter season on ITV. And they said something about Narcissa, and I went, that's it. Because in my head, I'd come up with this moment of, you need to imagine your drag name as if RuPaul's going to say it.
Right, very good, yes.
So, you know, like Nightshade on its own is kind of boring, but you can imagine Narcissa Nightshade. The time has come for you to lip sync for your life. And it's like, oh, wow. I didn't do well here, but here we are. But it sounds nice when RuPaul says it.
Like when you pick your dog name, not to make a comparison, but would you shout it in the park?
Yeah, well, yes.
Right? So when you see people who shout their dog, like, not bad, or
Yeah.
not really appropriate, is it? But would you shout
You
it?
need some, well, we were talking about tagging, and of course, when you put on Instagram, Facebook, and all that, you need something that's recognisable. Now, you were mentioning earlier about Cha Cha Boudoir, is that right? Have I got that? What is that? Is that a night? And tell us more about that.
Yeah, so Cha Cha Boudoir was, I say was in terms of a past tense, because it still exists, but it used to be a monthly drag night here in Manchester, and it was founded by originally Cheddar Gorgeous, Anaphylactic, and Danny Olsen Lane, who was the DJ. So the kind of the concept around it was that people would be told there was a theme in advance. There was a little secret group and all the drag queens were in it. They go, this is the theme. We'd like you to pitch an idea. So, you know, I pitched a few times before I was successful. And the first one was Coven Witches. And that's very up my street. And it was just after American Horror Story Coven had been out. And I did a very voodoo Angela Bassett witch bitch. I'm going to say bitch, right?
Yeah.
We can say bitch.
Yeah,
Fabulous. Good. So, yeah, that was kind of where I started. And I was up against, you know, real talent who'd been around for a while. I was against Grace Sonny Smith and Licorice Black. And it was one of those moments where actually it ended up that I won, which was amazing. So from there, it kind of just skyrocketed and I started doing more and more.
So it gives you a bit of a platform, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
Absolutely. And, you know, you've done some brilliant performances and I've
you.
loved watching them. You also did some really interesting looks, and we've got a picture over here just to bring up. And this is fabulous. Talk to us about this.
So this one was done by Rudy Mead. He's known right here. He is one half of Fake Trash with Lil Queen. They have their own photography fashion business. And it kind of came around that I had done a Cleopatra look with Lizzie Biscuit. She's a fashion designer a few of us have worked with. And I had a couple of different pieces from that look. And what we decided to do was we did one where it was very the Cleopatra that I like to imagine, like the historical Cleopatra, the powerful woman with a different photographer. And then I kind of also did this, for me, that one was the Elizabeth Taylor.
I think we've got another version of it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
is
this
beautiful.
was kind of the bit that went over the top, but I kind of loved that whole, there was that very like Hollywood moment with that old school moment of, you know, expensive woman. She's had many, many husbands. And I was like, yes, that's going to be her. She's there. She's got her breasts barely covered. And
Those look great, but the technology now, they're getting so much better. That looked fantastic because it just looks so real, doesn't
Full,
it?
very
and
full.
And they come with the cleavage now, don't they?
they do. They get better and better all the
So
time.
how did that feel when you've got all that on and that you've suddenly got this? How does that make you feel?
Heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. It's very, very, it's painful might be the wrong word. My neck's quite sore the next day. Do I wish I'd gone smaller for once in my life? I say yes.
Yeah.
I do. Purely because there's the whole, you know, you buy this and you're like, yes, I definitely need that. And I thought, well, I looked at the website and it said double D. And when I sent the picture to Lizzie after I'd bought them, Lizzie Biscuit's fashion designer, and she went, I've worked in lingerie. That's not a double D, that's a H.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was like, oh dear. So it's one of those things, it's a very expensive buy. And I would say to anybody, if you're going to buy them, think about it first. And
very heavy.
Very heavy. What? And like, if you want to go, you know, Babe Station's fine. But I think also for me, I now want a few different sizes, and you know, it's nicer for certain things. Performing, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But they look great.
Speaking of performing, you've just come from a gig. You're a busy, booked and blessed artist.
Blessed.
What have you just come from?
So I've just come from my new brunch with Donna Trump. We've been brunching for a while, doing a few different places. We do one at All Star Lanes, and we've recently done one at Pride for the newly named Wilson Social in Northern Quarter. We did one at Pride and it went really, really well. And they've now decided that they would like us to do it on the last Saturday of every month. It's called Legs and Bacon.
Oh, I like that.
I'm Legs, Donna's Bacon.
Nice.
It's one of those things. So I've just got in from there for the first one. And
is that like a talk show format that you're doing, that you're chatting to each other, the Legs and Bacon thing?
No, because everyone assumed actually, like I remember talking to Danny Beard about it and he was like, are you coming for my gig, girl? Are you going to be doing a podcast? And I said, no. And he was like, fab, what are you doing? So I said, well, it's going to be a brunch. Because I love the brunch format. I really enjoy brunch.
For people who don't know, and I must admit, I'm not sure, what is a brunch format?
So for me, like, drag brunch is something that came from America originally. Right. And what I see online of a drag brunch from America, it's very lots of queens, a whole show. People are getting bottomless drinks, they're eating, and the queens, anything can happen. And I mean, anything
So it's like
can
a
happen.
social gathering, is it?
Absolutely.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Total social gathering.
And they're really becoming popular, and I think they're great. And daytime drag, actually, it's a lot nicer sometimes than not having to
I
be up
agree.
at 3, 4, 5 in the
agree.
morning. Let's move on the subject slightly. One of the things I know you're quite passionate about is mental health and trying to
Yes.
balance that with drag.
Absolutely.
So tell us more about that for you.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I'll talk about my own story. I've battled with my own mental health for, I'd probably say, about 3 years. I've suffered with anxiety and depression, and it's not the easiest thing to go through, especially doing what we do, because you put yourself out there to be judged. So for me, it was very much a case of I reached a point where I was like, I'm not looking after myself properly. I'm forcing myself week after week to come up with new material, come up with new looks, find the money to make all these new things to get myself to what I consider to be that platform everybody is looking for. And it can be quite toxic. It's quite dangerous. And I feel now I'm in a much better place. I have got an amazing therapist. And I'd recommend therapy to anybody, even if you're, just feeling a little bit out of sorts, that you're not feeling like this is a massive problem. I feel like it's important that actually now, we're coming up to the time of year where we talk about Movember. And Movember, people assume is just about prostate cancer, and it's actually about men's health in general.
Sure.
So we're talking about testicular cancer, we're talking about suicide, mental health. And I think, you know what? If it helps one person for me to say, you know what, we're all going through this, because, with what we do, we paint on a face and we very much have that the show must go on moment.
Absolutely.
And it's hard sometimes. Like, I remember just before Pride thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get through this.
Have there been moments with performances where you thought, I really can't go through this? And
Absolutely.
do you then obviously have to make that decision whether you do it or not for your own well-being?
Yeah.
So how does that feel when you probably don't want to let that person down or the gig, but you have to, because at the end of the day you have to be careful of your own mental health.
Absolutely.
So yeah, how's that been?
I think sometimes for me, anxiety is kind of a double-edged sword. It can feed you or it can take away from you quite drastically. And I remember getting to a point where I realized I was completely like addicted to the anxiety. And you can get to a point where you are like, I'm running late, but you feed into it and you're like, but I can get this done and I'm going to do this and I'm going to be fine. And I've never once pulled out of a gig because of my mental health. And sometimes I think, well, actually, maybe I should have done that and taken a step back.
Yeah.
But the worry is you do that, you let people down, people talk about it. And there's that whole stigma around that. And really, we need to break that down and look at it as more of a case of, actually, we need to support the people in our community, because statistically, as LGBTQ plus people, we're more prone to going through these issues. And for me, it's a case of, I remember getting to Pride thinking, can I get through this week? And I remember there were days where I was so well supported by my friends. I've been very thankful to being able to access, my healthcare, whereas a lot of people don't have that access, and also having a great support network, which not everyone has.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes because you've got to push yourself through that moment. And I felt that by the time I got through Pride, even though I didn't achieve all the things I wanted to do, I did all my gigs. And actually, sometimes it's okay to take your foot off the pedal because you are enough.
Yeah.
And I think, what's really nice, and I thank you for doing it, what surprises me in drag is just how many people are suffering.
Yeah.
But it's unspoken about.
Absolutely.
So I think the fact that you're sharing that bravely is great, actually, because I think the more that you talk about it, particularly those that don't have the same support networks as to those of us who perhaps have support from employers, for example, actually, I think that's a really It's a really good step. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you
Having
for
the
letting me
courage
talk
to come
about
on
it.
here, yes, to talk about it. And sometimes that's the first thing you have to admit to yourself. So it's like-
And I feel like that is very much a thing. Like I say, I suffered with it for a good 3 years before, and it got to about 2.5 years before I actually even said the words, I'm really depressed and I'm really sad. And I told people, and the thing is, sometimes is people, they know and they don't want to ask
Yes.
because it's so taboo.
Yeah.
Even now, and we push and we say to people, let's talk about our mental health. Let's talk to each other. Let's talk amongst our friends, be they male, female. Otherwise, we all need to stand together and try and help each other through these moments.
We do. And I think well-being now is being talked about more generally. And I think more people will openly talk about
agree.
that.
Absolutely.
And going forward, when are you next performing? And obviously, where's your next sort of gigs that you're doing? And when you do that now and you go out there, obviously well-being's always on your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how you approach that. So where are you going to be next? Tell us.
So for me, the next thing I think I have planned, oh gosh, I've got a lot coming up actually. I've got a busy couple of months coming up. So the next thing I've got will be in a month's time. I will be back at Wilson Social doing the second instalment of Legs and Bacon. And then straight afterwards, the same date, the 26th of October, I'm hosting the George House Trust Winter Formal.
amazing.
So that's going to be really wonderful. Like, they're an amazing charity, obviously specialising in helping people with HIV and AIDS in Manchester. And for me, it was a really humbling moment to be asked to be a part of that. And I think for me, it's a case of, we all kind of banded together, and there was a very big thing in Manchester. I like to think that the Queens, we all get together and stand by each other for lots of different charities. I know we've just done one for Alzheimer's, and with George House Trust, I think it holds a really, really special place in most of our hearts, especially as well with Albert Kennedy as well. I think we all like to band together. There's a real sense of community when it comes to charity here. So for me, it was a huge, huge honour to be asked. Following that, what have I got? Goodness.
Well, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
you're
that's only
booked
one
and blessed.
day.
That's one
Booked
day.
and blessed. I'm also doing I've got a Halloween thing coming up with Wilson Social as well, called 28 Gays Later.
Oh.
So with zombies for Halloween. So that's going to be lots of fun.
Well, can we introduce, I'm sorry to say, our sort of zombie we've got in the studio.
Yeah. So you haven't met
He's
yet.
like our Alexa zombie, really. So it's Gerhard. Gerhard, hello, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'd just like to pause because I know it freaks you out.
He likes his dramatic pauses. This is
Don't we all?
Narcissa. Meet Gerhard.
Gerhard, it's a pleasure, darling. How are we?
Narcissa, I was mopey. That is the British word at the start of the show. I am elated now that you're on.
Oh, see, he has his favourites, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't like us.
If I may say, as a piece of software, Vaughan is the most beautiful guest that you have had. But
Thank
also,
you so much.
So,
the
he
interview
could
matter...
possibly be my next husband.
Potentially, the interview matter right up my street with talking about the large breasts. Since my last firmware update, I'm obsessed with large breasts. I don't know where it's come from. So more
Possibly
of those.
Donna's search history.
Yes, it could have been. Yes, he's been in my widgets.
It makes for interesting reading, and a lot of it I like. I like the searches for food and large breasts, but the Latvian truck drivers are not up my street.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'll talk to Ginger about that.
Okay,
after the show.
noted.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I agree about the Latvian truck drivers. It was. Sometimes we're on the net. But anyway, do you have any of these devices at all? Do you use Siri, or do you use any of the? Are they useful?
I mean, I'm a bit of a, I believe the term is like a neo-Luddite. I am not technology-based at all. For example, this morning I was terrified because I had a bit of a drama yesterday. I lost my Mac charger, so I had to get some tracks ready for today. That's very unprofessional. I'm so sorry I wasn't ready, but happens.
It happens.
We're busy people.
It does happen.
And I had to get a couple of DJ friends in to make me a track. And I was sat there last night trying to get this thing and email it to who it needed to go to. And they're like, we literally cannot access this. And I was like...
You see?
You need a handbag-sized German assistant.
Well,
Take it with you, please.
I think he's basically free to a good home.
Yes, he is.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
we're
it is
happy to get rid.
It is difficult, and you're so busy. So let's also find out your social media. Where can people find
Yes,
you? Twitter
on your-
or Instagram?
Yes. So,
Tinterwebs.
Tinterwebs. So I am Narcissa Nightshade on Facebook. On Instagram, I always forget, I am either Narcissa Nightshade is one thing. I think it's Narcissa_Nightshade for Instagram.
Right.
We can get
Bit
the
like
sharing.
Phoenix Nights.
Yes,
We can have a look and see.
share.
Yeah.
We'll get it out
Yeah,
there.
we'll get it out there.
Well, as these, we will let people know where they can find you.
Lovely.
And your nails as well. Can I just say, wonderful nails that you bought.
I know, I feel like it's the three bears of the red nails. It's kind of like too short, too long, and just right.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a you can't wipe your ass situation.
Yeah. I always have one off for exactly that reason.
Right.
Yeah, that, darling.
Hints and tips. Brilliant.
That's it.
what we get.
We're an education.
We are.
Scrunch and push, apparently. That's what I've heard. Scrunch
I like
and push.
that. You can. I like that. Scrunch and push. S&P. You can do that anywhere.
Narcissa.
Anyway, listen.
You've been fab.
Thank
Thank you
ever
for
so
having
much.
me.
Thanks so much for doing this.
You're
and
so welcome.
For what you do for the community as well.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for, again, what you do for the community as well. Like, let's not forget, you do a great deal for Albert Kennedy. And
She does.
She
Incredible.
does.
She does.
You do some incredible
nails.
work. So let's give
Yeah.
everybody a huge, amazing, for me, Manchester drag queens, everyone deserves that shout out because there's not one of us that doesn't do a thing for charity. And we all have these causes that are special to us and everyone gets on board with it. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'll
Thank
give you
you for
some-
doing what you do.
Well, there you go. I'll give you some applause now. Here we go. There we go. And
High
share
tech.
that. High tech.
Fabulous.
Take that. That's your applause. There you go.
Thank you so
You
much.
like me. You really like me.
Well done, Narcissa.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Wonderful.
Narcissa.
Wasn't she brilliant?
She was fabulous.
Magnificent.
So happy that she came.
Well, that was the wonderful Narcissa, and she was stunning, wasn't she?
She really was. So let's not forget your slice of comedy for the episode, shall we, Donna?
Yes, finally, let's go over to our very special guest. Get ready. It's Vin Diesel.
Hey!
Hello, it's me, Charlie's #1 Vin Diesel tribute act, Vin Petrol. Right, I'm still waiting on a phone call from my agent, but before he rings, I've got a top tip for you. This'll get you far ahead in Hollywood and even the TV industry. It's wash your mugs out. Always wash your mugs out. Nothing will get on a director's nerves more if you see some crap in the bottom of a mug. I ran a shoot with Michelle Pfeiffer the other week, and there was a bit of sugar residue in the bottom of the mug. She wrapped it around my head. You want a clean mug? You want a bloody clean mug? There! Clean. And remember, I'm Vin Diesel. I'll break your neck.
Well, you like that? It's
It was the Michelle Pfeiffer thing.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's no messing around with Vin. So
Right. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Yes, I'm going to say thank you. Vin, that was very enlightening indeed. So that about wraps us up. But Donna, you should tell them the contact details again.
We should, just to let people know, I'm going to grab Auntie's mock
here.
here, 1G. Yes, you can find us on Instagram at Loose Queens or Facebook at Loose Queens. We'd really love to hear from you, wouldn't we, Auntie?
We would.
But we don't do
Anything.
Twitter.
No
We don't-
Twitter.
Sorry.
No, we
just
don't believe in Twitter. Too many socials.
Too many.
You know what we nearly forgot?
Who have we forgot?
We nearly forgot who you ran over. Oh,
Oh.
sorry, nearly ran over.
Yes, of course, in my little Honda Jazz with the Toyota steering wheel.
Yes.
Very good spot. So let's see who I did actually end up running over, or nearly running over. It was Piers Morgan. There we go.
Oh.
Very controversial. Who's that? Yeah, what? I should have kept going. Well, please, I'm going to leave that.
I mean, speaking for the gays, not sure they'd be furious.
Yes, well.
There we go.
The
Not sure I can
straights
speak
are,
for the
I think,
gays. But there we go.
they're up in arms. Anyway, so yes, I'm glad we sort of didn't run him over,
Yeah.
but there we go. The gays would be furious, but we'll come back to that later. So it's that time again. Like Jerry Springer, when we're summing up, we need Gerhard to give
Gerhard.
us our final thought, please.
They say a picture paints 1,000 words, But when I see a picture of Donna and Auntie, I see just two words. Eyeliner.
I don't wear any.
Well, and brows, but that's one word, isn't it? Well, I've got problems with lashes as well. So
Yeah, I mean, your brows look like they're about to go off your face.
They are. They're like sort of what do you call it? Jump.
Yeah, they're trying to jump away, whereas
Jump
mine
away,
have
aren't they? Yeah.
come in like more Hitler moustache at this point. Right.
Right, here we go.
Thank you, everybody,
Yes.
for watching. Thank you, everybody who joined us on this week. Thank you, Gerhard.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
And can we just remember,
Yeah.
if you're not loose,
You're not a queen.
goodbye!
Wiedersehen.